Something is coming to your door, but it's not knocking. You're not ready for the silence your house will soon hold. There will be people in your home, but not all came for you. The crowd entering your space carries hidden agendas. They come smiling. God saw their teeth sharpen in prayer. Soon, your house won't recognize you. You will see familiar faces, possessed by unfamiliar spirits. Watch how they speak when they think you're not listening. The blessing arrives disguised as burden. Not all who cross your doorframe came from God. They'll call it celebration. Your spirit will call it surveillance. Your house will overflow, but your heart will know who to avoid. Your neighbor's silence was the first warning. The crowd will come with gifts. Test their hands. The gathering was planned without your soul's permission. They asked to borrow sugar. They stayed to steal peace. You're about to learn who envies the air you breathe. The noise will rise, but the message is in the quiet. They wanted to sit at your table, but never prayed for your peace. Not all company is comfort. You prayed for breakthrough. They planned for invasion. Heaven heard what your neighbor buried. The betrayal is wearing perfume. You're entertaining strangers. One of them is fate in disguise. Be careful, crowds hide cowards. Your name passed through mouths that never tasted honesty. They're drawn to your home because of what's inside your soul. They don't hate you. They hate how God covers you. The closer they get, the colder your house feels. They weren't invited. They were assigned. They watched you build it. Now they want to break it. You'll feel it before you see it. Someone asked to use your bathroom. They looked through your medicine. You opened the door, but your spirit was the real invitation. You are light in a room full of watchers. The neighbor you bless is secretly counting your blessings. They smile at your window. They curse you at the altar. The one who knocked first will be the last to leave. They took off their shoes, but tracked in darkness. Not all guests leave footprints. Some leave curses. You gave them tea. They stirred your sorrow. The knock came from the wrong hands. Someone's watching your door, not with love, but with longing for what's yours. The gathering is near. Guard your peace. They bring laughter. Your soul hears danger. They'll say, God bless your home. Ask which God. Your house is not haunted. Your guests are. Look again. That's not friendship. It's fascination with your favor. Even your walls know who doesn't belong. If this touched your soul, don't scroll, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. The house is filled, yet you feel alone. That's discernment. The one who hugged you looked away too quickly. The volume is high. The silence is warning you. Someone in your home has been rehearsing betrayal. The air changed. Your spirit noticed first. Not everyone standing near you is standing with you. The presence felt like a hug, but it smelled like warning. They want access, not intimacy. You were the reason they came. You'll be the reason they fall. Keep your door locked, but keep your spirit louder. That smile wasn't peace. It was plotting. The crowd was sent, but so were you. They thought they entered your house. They walked into holy fire. Every hand that touches your doorknob has intention. They want your warmth, not your warfare. Your kitchen table became their courtroom. They didn't say grace. They judged your portion. Someone touched your things. Something followed them home. Their shoes are clean, but their hearts track mud. You lit candles. They brought shadows. One came to reconnect. One came to destroy. Your couch carries conversations they won't repeat in public. That guest book holds ghosts. They pretend to forget your name, but they chanted in envy. Your joy made them sit quietly, burning. They want your home, but never your healing. One neighbor blessed your tree. Another cursed your door. You poured drinks. They whisper doubt. They compliment your space, but mock your prayers. You'll recognize the one who came with secrets. Not all eyes look in peace. Your house is a temple. They came to tear the veil. They claimed they missed you. Their aura didn't. The blessing was bait. They say your name wrong, on purpose. You'll hear someone repeat what you never said aloud. You gave them bread. They tasted blood. Your floorboards creak under the weight of unspoken curses. You opened your heart, and someone measured its weakness. Not all your neighbors sleep through the night. Something sacred lives here. That's why they swarm. The house isn't full. It's under siege. That noise in the hall. It's not just footsteps. You welcomed guests. God sent watchers. One person keeps coming over, but their spirit lingers too long. The kitchen filled with laughter, but your soul heard weeping. Someone opened your fridge, but it's your favor they're hungry for. They keep asking questions, but not the kind love asks. Your door was opened. Now your spirit must decide who stays. The one who stayed late left early in the spirit. You hear footsteps at night. You're not crazy. That window you cracked open invited something more. They touched your walls and left fingerprints on your spirit. Not every gathering was divine. There's a presence pretending to belong. You offered safety. They offered surveillance. The couch isn't haunted, but someone's soul is. One guest prayed. One plotted. Both smiled. You gave them a blanket. They tried to steal your covering. Your children sense it too. You turned your house into a refuge. Someone mistook it for a throne. There is a neighbor who counts your cars and curses your sleep. You have mail. It was opened in spirit. The wrong people remember your Wi-Fi password. That neighbor watches every delivery you get. Too closely. They helped you clean, but brought in chaos. One walked in with a gift. One walked out with your peace. Be slow to let them in next time. Someone isn't just watching. They're waiting. They brought nothing, but planned to leave with everything. You were too kind. They were too curious. There's a reason your dog keeps barking at 3 a.m. They took off their mask when they thought no one was looking. That visitor hummed a tune you haven't heard in years. They asked about your bedroom too quickly. Don't ignore what your soul whispered when they walked in. You felt a chill right before they smiled. You closed the door, but something stayed. You offered light. They brought back shadows. The blessing was never the crowd, it was who left after. They want your life, but not your lessons. They smiled at your home, but wept at their own. They're not just curious, they're envious. That dream you had? It was a warning. Someone mentioned your name in a room filled with jealousy. You'll hear laughter, but your soul won't laugh with them. Someone asked where your bedroom is. Spiritually, they're trespassing. That noise wasn't the wind. There's one neighbor whose silence is louder than shouting. The ones closest often know too much. You are the reason they keep looking over the fence. They said, "We love your house." But their heart says otherwise. You felt something crawl beneath your joy. They left your home, but not your atmosphere. One of them touched your photos. The air shifted when they spoke her name. If this touched your soul, don't scroll. Comment your favorite quote and subscribe for more. They know what you carry. That's why their smiles feel heavy. You were quiet, but they heard your spirit scream. And now they're watching. They laughed while you built, but now they're circling your gate. Their footsteps echo outside your blessing. Guard what was promised. What's coming to your house isn't luck. It's legacy they tried to bury. The blessing made noise. Now every jealous ear is pressed against your door. Some blessings are silent. Yours won't be. Prepare for the knock. Your home was invisible. Now angels walk in and eyes follow. They didn't believe until the windows glowed gold. Now they want in. You prayed in the dark. They'll swarm when the light arrives. Divine fire is in your walls. That's why they keep circling. They called it madness. Now they call it, "Can I come too?" You were hidden for a reason. Now God is crowding your home with favor. They whispered lies to your walls. God answered with glory. They heard what heaven delivered before you even saw the box. Your blessing was sent loud. That's why your neighbors act strange. Something holy entered your home. They felt it before you did. What lives in you will overflow. Your address is about to become holy ground. Jealousy has a new map. Your house is circled in red. You're being watched. But so is the one watching you. Some eyes aren't innocent. They're waiting to sabotage what's sacred. You've been chosen. And now, even your walls will speak. The light you prayed for has arrived. So have the imitators. Not every visitor is a guest. Be wise with your open doors. They're not coming to celebrate. They're coming to claim what you bled for. They don't want your joy. They want your source. You've become prophecy fulfilled. That's why they circle like vultures. They're smiling with questions, but their hearts hold swords. Your peace disturbed them. Your blessings enraged them. They will come dressed in honor, but their hands carry theft. Your name spread like incense. Now they're following the scent. They're not inspired by your faith. They're enraged by your fruit. You wept in silence. Now heaven is weeping loud through your windows. They doubted your drought, but they'll want a cup when your rains come. Watch the one who suddenly brings gifts. You forgave. They plotted. God heard both. They didn't ask how. They asked, how do I steal it? Your blessing isn't just seen. It's spiritual warfare. Don't let them enter just because they used to call you friend. Some smiles are surveillance. Heaven's overflow has a sound. That's what drew the crowd. You healed. Now they want a shortcut to your testimony. You were holy when forgotten. You'll be divine when famous. The mailman came. Now, so will the masked. They scoffed when you worshipped. They'll scream when you're exalted. They walked away. Now they're walking back with agendas. You didn't brag, he broadcasted. You stayed quiet, but your house shouts favor. Your light reached them before your voice did. If this touched your soul, don't scroll. Like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. They thought you'd die unknown, but now your front door glows. Be still. God is multiplying while they spy. You didn't decorate. Heaven did. That's why it draws them. They're coming with smiles. Check for venom. The house isn't crowded, it's divinely filled. God's light broke your roof. Now eyes climb over your walls. Even the wind carries news of what he gave you. They pretended not to see, but envy kept their gaze locked. You aren't being targeted, you're being revealed. Your neighbor is no longer a neighbor. Watch. You were hidden until the oil overflowed. God heard your I have nothing. Now watch him furnish it. The knock at your door will not be innocent. Even the shadows are drawn to your windows. It's not paranoia. They've been talking. Something sacred entered your room. They'll come just to feel it. Your neighbors gossip because they sensed glory. Don't explain what God did. Let them wonder. You've become what their curses couldn't stop. He anointed your silence. Now the noise is coming. They watched your struggle. Now they'll beg to sit at your table. You hosted angels unaware. Now they want to move in. Some blessings can't be hidden. That's why your house glows. You didn't decorate with lights. God decorated with purpose. They're not coming for you. They're coming for your oil. God made your floorboards echo grace. They mocked your emptiness. Now your overflow offends them. The blessing didn't knock. It kicked your door in. The porch isn't full of guests. It's full of witnesses. You weren't preparing a table. You were birthing a miracle. They said, "What's happening in that house?" Answer, prophecy. You asked for shelter. God built a sanctuary. They want the gift, but not the crushing. They won't recognize you. That's how you know it's divine. Your name is whispered between closed blinds. They peek through curtains, but God tore the veil. You're not crazy. Heaven's just loud in your walls now. You watered with tears. Now your yard blooms judgment. They planted doubt. You built destiny. Your address has angels assigned. They watched your house, hoping to witness downfall. Instead, they saw glory. The room you cried in will soon echo laughter. They won't believe the transformation. That's the point. What fills your house now can't be stolen. You didn't invite them. Heaven's favor did. Your roof held in prayers. Now it's breaking from harvest. Be careful who you open the door for next. You didn't show off. God exposed. You prayed for peace. Now your peace provokes them. Heaven's fragrance leaked from your window. That's why they gathered. A whisper passed your name through your neighbor's wall. What they saw will soon be standing at your front door. God told them to move next door, because your soul can't be protected from what's coming without witnesses. Watch your doormat. Who steps on it next will carry a message. It's not your house they fear. It's the glory dwelling inside it. God told the wind to circle your home. Something is trying to breach it. This is your final quiet night. What you prayed for is arriving loudly. The walls heard you cry. Now heaven is sending a crowd to catch your praise. Your house is about to carry more weight than wood and stone. It's becoming a sign. That neighbor who always stares too long? They recognized something ancient in your eyes. The enemy didn't knock. They slipped in with the mail. Someone buried a secret on your land. But truth always resurrects where glory lives. Don't ignore the dream with the hallway and the red light. That was real. A prophetic crowd is being sent to your address. But not everyone was sent by God. They're not strangers. They're familiar spirits dressed in new disguises. A window will shatter soon. Don't panic. That's the sound of a stronghold breaking. You'll know who's false by who flinches when you speak holy things. They were drawn to your house like moths, but not everyone seeks light. The sound you heard 3 nights ago wasn't thunder, it was heaven preparing your house. This isn't a visit. It's a spiritual unveiling. Your house is the altar. The wind that passed your window spoke your name like a warning. It's not overreaction. It's revelation. Your instincts are responding to things your mind doesn't remember. Your front porch is sacred. Treat it like a gate, not a welcome mat. They're coming to see what made you survive, what killed others.